just being creepy and odd and off-putting from the get-go. No, ain't nobody trust her to watch. I wouldn't hire you to dog sit, let alone watch my newborn and my kids. Hello, beautiful people. I am Nickey. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be double feature kind of review. We will be talking about the 2025 Hulu remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, but we will also be talking about the 1992 magnificent classic original, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, because really, I can't talk about one without talking about the other. Hold on now, because I can talk about the original without talking about the remake, but I can't talk about the remake without talking about the original. I kind of just feel like I can't help but compare. I can't help it. And if you are not familiar, the synopsis for The Hand That Rocks the Cradle 2025, an upscale suburban mom brings a new nanny, Polly Murphy, into her home only to discover she is not the person she claims to be. And the original The Hand That Rocks the Cradle 1992 synopsis, after her sex offender husband gets caught in the act and kills himself, trigger warning, an embittered pregnant widow loses her child and embarks on a mission of vengeance against one of her husband's victims and the woman's family. First of all, can we please remake the movies that were a good idea, good premise, but they sucked? They had terrible execution. Let's make those better. It feels pretty useless to remake movies that are already done right the first time. I'm not a remake hater by far. Some of my favorite movies are remakes, but it's remakes like this that give the remakes a bad rep. I really feel like, honestly, they could have made this their own movie. I have no clue why this needed to be tied to The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Without the title, I wouldn't even connected the movies. Honestly, I would not have connected the movies. Now, first of all, I had low expectations going into this, I'll be honest. And as soon as the movie started, I pretty much felt like if the mom don't have asthma, throw the whole movie away. If the mom character doesn't have asthma, I don't even want it. Everything about this remake is just lesser on all sides. First of all, the couple's friends, just like the original, they have a couple that they're friends with, a guy and a girl, but in this remake they don't have like the ties like they did in the original, where like Julianne Moore's character was the husband's like childhood friend and stuff. Give me Julianne Moore over these friends. First of all, the female friend, I think she said 2 words, maybe 2 sentences. She was very useless. Like, baby, why were you here? And then the male friend, I can accept some stupidity with characters when it feels like realism, but does uber dumb confronting folks by yourself kills me in movies. The friend decides, because stuff is going on. So let's just get I'm finna do a quick rundown of the movie before I even break into the stuff that I want to get into. So the movie pretty much has Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's married. She has a young child, a newborn baby. Well, she's pregnant when the movie, and I thought the movie opened, and it felt very odd. She is pregnant. She has a career. She has a husband. She's on like a work call, and she's like, "Yeah, I gotta call you back. I'm going into labor." Boom, baby pops out, and it just felt very rash. It felt very abrupt. Like, it felt very awkwardly paced. I was just like, okay. Like, it felt very odd. Felt very choppy. I was just like literally, I just felt like, okay. Like, it was so weird. But anyway, I think she's a lawyer, and her firm does this pro bono thing where they help people with landlord issues, and that's how she runs into Michael Monroe's character, who becomes the nanny. And nothing about the interaction gave me I'm immediately smitten with this girl, or I think my kids would love, like, it give you any of that. And I felt like out of pity, she hires the girl as her nanny. Like, that's the only thing I could think of, is the girl pulled down her luck, you know, and we just gonna give her a job. I don't know why you would do that when it comes to your kids, but like, that's how it felt. Because, like I said, it was nothing special about Michael Monroe. There was nothing warm or personable or anything. But eventually, she's not just like a nanny who comes to watch the kids. They move her in because she makes a comment to the friend about how it's super expensive to live here in LA, and she gotta, leave. And the way I would have said, "Nice knowing you. Good luck. Safe travels." Like, again, the steps that got us to so this woman's tentacles all in the family, it made no sense. I feel like in the original it made sense. It was logical. Like, I got it. But in this remake, it was just like, baby, why y'all going so hard and bending over backwards for Pollyanna? I didn't understand it. But anyway, eventually the veneer cracks. I mean, there was no veneer in the first place, and Mary Beth Elizabeth starts to feel like something is up with this girl. Of course, like they always write male husbands in these movies. I don't know why I said male husband. I guess if you're a husband, you're male. I don't know. I don't know why I said it like that. But in the way they always write men, whether they're a boyfriend, a husband, just significant other, they're dodo birds. They're useless. They never believe the woman that they are in a relationship with. It's the same old tired thing. And I actually was on Twitter, and In Love with Horror posted about this trope, right? Let me find it. So, In Love with Horror posted some examples of the useless husband trope. The husband not believing the wife, the boyfriend not believing the girlfriend trope. Posted some examples with the caption, "I despise this trope." And I commented, what's interesting to me is men write these movies. Now, the hand across the cradle is a woman, but men write these movies, the examples that they posted of this trope. And I said, I'm curious if men see themselves as useless and not sympathetic when women are struggling, because this is a trope that just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I really would like to get into the psyche of why filmmakers think, oh, because some tropes are tropes for a reason, right? I don't understand what we're doing here. I don't understand what we're doing here. So anyway, same old thing. Husband don't believe her. We have a big showdown. We have a big fight. Mary Elizabeth Winstead kills Michael Monroe. Movie over. Husband's like, oh, I saw her. I saw her on top of the car attacking you. I'd be damned if I'm gonna be in a relationship with somebody who will not believe my word. But if I say the bitch crazy. Whatever I say, take it as Bible, because listen to me. Like, I don't understand. I would never be in a relationship with somebody who's not going to listen to my concerns. But anyway, so the friend, in the midst of this, with her feeling like something is going on, the only person who believes her, listens to her, is her friend, not her husband, her friend. And he sneaks into her room, gets some of her items, steals some of her stuff, gets her DNA, and he's able to get a full rundown in history of her. And what he discovers is she actually Michael Monroe knew Mary Elizabeth when they were kids, because her father, mother, and baby sibling were all killed in a house fire that Mary Elizabeth set. She burned their house down, and Michael Monroe's the only one who made it out, and she ended up in foster care and had just a terrible life. So once the friend discovers this, he don't think, God damn, let me call the police. Let me call my friend. Let me warn her. This crazy bitch is around her newborn and her kid. No. What he thinks is, oh, I had her all wrong. I should have sympathy. I think it's a great idea that the girl who's lying about her identity, because my friend literally murdered her whole family when she was a child, it's a good idea for me to invite her to my home, unbeknownst to anybody, and confront her by myself, and to confront her and also tell her, you tell my friend or I will. Yeah, that sounds pretty smart to me. Not. Like going straight to the fraudulent nanny and not going straight to your friend makes no sense. I don't care how you slice it. But then once she gets to his house, earlier he tells a story about if somebody broke in, he went and called the cops, he'd get a baseball bat. She goes to ask if she used the restroom. It's dead quiet. But somehow she comes out with the baseball bat and attacks him. Where was the baseball bat? Because we didn't hear nothing. That means she didn't rummage through nothing. She didn't open a door. She didn't open a closet. Where was the bat? Like, where was that irked me so bad when it was dead silent. I think we heard the water running or something, but that's not enough to cover like sounds of getting you're in a person's home for the very first time. How do you know what a bat is at? That irked me. I could see if she came over there with a weapon. That would have made a lot more sense for me. But being able to just walk up out of there with the bat irked me. But she kills him. Because why wouldn't she? You confronted me by yourself. I don't want you to blow up my spot. Why wouldn't I kill you? Anyway. Oh, speaking of the friends, it was very disappointing that they didn't have a moment where the friend character says the title of the movie like Julianne Moore does in the original. They didn't have the magic sauce in this remake. But anyway, so after he gets killed, of course, Mary Elizabeth's character points the finger at Polly, at Michael Monroe's character. And this is the bright idea with her wheel spinning that she gets. She learns that, and she learns the nanny's full background, that she was the little girl who was, how she burned down. She learns everything. So I just learned that my nanny is incredibly dangerous, has targeted my family. Someone who I murdered their whole family has targeted my family, and also murdered my best friend, who I put two and two together that he confronted her. So I think that I'll go ahead and confront her and do the exact same thing my friend did, confront her alone, unarmed, and unbeknownst to anybody. And she literally abruptly leaves her daughter's game to go do this. Not to go get her baby away from this lady. No, to confront her. And don't tell her husband. Well, you know what? I ain't even finna add that. Because what if would you tell that useless ass husband anything? I ain't even finna put that in there. I guess dumb people have dumb friends. Because her and her friend did some real dumb stuff. But what also didn't make sense to me is that in the year 2025, you mean to tell me wealthy people don't background check folks before moving them into your house? If you rent a house to somebody, you do a background check. So you didn't do a background check, but you trusted this person with your child, with your newborn, moving into your home. I mean, no nanny camera, no secret hidden camera. And especially when your husband don't believe your word. You mean to tell me you're finna plant no hidden camera? The only thing she does when she hires this nanny is ask for a reference, one reference. And I had a conversation with somebody about this when it comes to references for a job. References for anything. I've never understood the point of references because it's just a voice on the phone. Shouldn't you need a reference for the reference? Like, you're not taking the word of whoever you just had the interview with. No, you have to call another person you don't know. I mean, you don't know the person you had the interview with, but you're going to call somebody that they give you who you also don't know to listen to their word on the person that you just interviewed. It don't make no sense. I need more than that. No, that ain't enough. I don't know who the hell that is. This is a voice on the phone. I'm not going to leave you with my newborn child. Something else I didn't like with the remake, I prefer knowing the villain's motivation off rip. I love how we follow what happens to the mom in the original Hand That Rocks the Cradle. We get to see the doctor that assaults her, what he does to himself once she outs him and the other victims come forward, what happens to his wife, and then we turn around and see her pop up to be the nanny. There's a tension in there because the audience is in on something that the family isn't in on. We know this lady got certain motives. Now, albeit we know off rip that Michael Monroe is creepy, but we don't know the reason why. We don't know the motivation. And honestly, once those questions are answered, there's no real payoff. I was honestly like, y'all held that back? Y'all held that back? Y'all could have gave us that off. And especially because they give us like a little piece. You know how you get like a little cut, a little scene, but you don't really know what it's connected to. You don't know the real. Child, this was no real like reveal moment. Like, oh shoot, like there was no real payoff for me. I really feel like I kind of prefer just keep a mystery and just make the nanny crazy. Like she didn't need no personal motivation. She could have just been crazy. That would have worked better for me. And what also would have worked better for me, if you're gonna hold back this information, I would have preferred if Mary Elizabeth Winstead character was just a little sociopath who randomly burned their house down, or maybe they randomly set a fire and it got out of control. I would have preferred. No, I would have preferred her just be a sociopath, not it randomly get out of control. I would prefer if she did target the family, burn the house down, but she wasn't assaulted as a child. I just feel like if you're gonna keep the motive secret, it needs to be like a boom. Like it needs to really hit the audience. Like, oh shoot, like, damn, this why she doing. It didn't give me. It was just like I didn't feel anything. I was just like, and honestly, it didn't really make no sense. Girl, I saved you. Like, sorry I had to kill your mom and your little sister, but your dad was assaulting you, and I killed him because he assaulted. Now I don't understand why you gotta light the house on fire with 3 innocent people inside. What the, that don't make no sense to me. Whatever, shit, child, whatever. But girl, he was assaulting me and assaulting you. I got rid of him for us. Girl, we should be friends. But what also didn't make sense to me when it comes to the motive of Michael Monroe, the nanny character, when they finally have the confrontation and she's all like, look what you did to me, you killed my family, blah blah blah, she goes to say she gonna take her husband and her beautiful daughters. Bitch, you don't care about them kids? Literally the very first time that she watches the baby, she does a lot of ignoring the baby. And that was the only, there really wasn't nothing in this movie that really did nothing. But that was a hard scene for me to watch. When the mom leaves and she immediately puts the baby down and walks away from the baby, and the baby is screaming and crying, and the baby tries to crawl towards her, and when the baby does, she moves and walks another, just pays the baby. That stuff was really hard for me to watch. That was sad. I want to know how they film stuff like that, because how y'all got that baby in distress? I didn't like that. But what do you mean you want her beautiful? You don't give a fuck about. See, I didn't like that. In the original, that lady was like a Stepford wife. She was like a Stepford nanny. And she was like, she literally had this perfect, but also what also made sense to me with the original, she was an older woman. Like it felt like somebody you would entrust with your kids. She literally came off as very put together, very personable, very helpful. And it wasn't until the Ernie Hammer character has an interaction with her that we get a glimpse into the crazy, and the veneer cracks just a little and she tries to put it back on. But in the remake with Michael Monroe, she is immediately odd, off-putting, creepy. Like that's why I said it felt like we had to have only given her the job out of pity. And I like in the original with the nanny Peyton literally acting so perfect around the family, around the kids, with the baby, like really embedding herself smartly. And then we got that moment in the restroom where she flips out. Like it was just layered so much better, and building this story of like this Trojan horse inside this family ready to ignite like a bomb. In the original Hannah Rocks the Cradle, that nanny made herself useful from the get-go, saving the baby from swallowing the mom's earring. This girl in the remake did not do anything that would make me trust her with my kids or trust her over other nannies. And the original, that lady was so much better with the kids. She had real bonding with the older daughter, real bonding with the newborn baby. She made that woman's baby want her and not his own mom. Like, that's how you motherfucking do some motherfucking revenge. Like, she was executing some pristine stuff. Now, I really can't compare the husbands. Both husbands are pretty good for nothing in both movies. But arguably, the husband in the remake is by far much worse. His reaction to the nanny giving their like 8, 9, or 10-year-old child fireworks and them going off in her room, his reaction to that was ridiculous. Like, forget being a nanny. What adult gives fireworks to a young child? Like, that is so irresponsible. Like, if you're going to make dumbass decisions like that, I don't want you in charge of my kids. Everything that went wrong for the family in the original was not tied to the nanny. She would set stuff up so she would look like a godsend and a rescue and helping and saving them. There was nothing that she did to the family. How? But for this nanny to do something this dumb, like what person in right mind would defend this when sir, your house almost burnt down. Your child could have been burnt. His comments just about the nanny in the original makes sense. Because they really had no tension when it came to the nanny in the original, like in the second one with the husband and wife. The wife in the original wanted to take a trip, and the husband is like, just us or also with, and no, I don't want the nanny there. And he was like, well, she's been nothing but a godsend, but hey, we're talking about on the trip. Like, he didn't really go hard for the nanny against his wife. You really felt in the original that when it came down to it, he had his wife back. And you felt like he had a real love for her. I feel like this remake, baby, you could have gave us a single parent, because I'm really not sure why the dad was here. First of all, in the original, she had like a hobby, but she was like a housewife, and the dad was the career person. In the remake, the husband and wife both have careers, but yet it seems like the wife is the only one really responsible for the kid. That husband was useless. In the remake, like, I don't know why that man was here. I really don't. I don't know why that man was here. And I like the actor, but I'm just talking about the character. You know what? I just feel like this was such a flat writing, lifeless script, and it was unfortunately not saved by even talented actors. It was just I didn't get anything. There was nothing thriller. Like, this is a classic 90s thriller. There was nothing thrilling about this remake. I don't like what we did at all, and we really didn't need to tie it to the original. I feel like it would have even been more exciting because they tried to do like this sexual tension with the nanny and the mom, baby. And they gave the mom a background of, I was dating a girl when I got my husband. Y'all ain't going nowhere with that. Y'all didn't do nothing with that. What was the point? I would have preferred if Michael Monroe, they had his nanny come up in that, and it would have been like that Netflix documentary where she ended up sleeping with the mom, the dad kidnapped the child. Like, that would have been more fun. That would have been more thrilling. Y'all could have turned this into an erotic thriller. Like, we could have did a throwback to the 90s erotic thrillers. Like, this isn't a slow burn because nothing burns, nothing builds, no one is engaging. It's just slow. And then what really took the cake for me, with useless ass parents making terrible decisions for their kids, at the end when we killed the lady, why did they let their 10-year-old daughter come over and see the lady dead, arm jacked up off of her? Like, they just let the child. See what I mean about the useless husband? You were supposed to stop your baby from going over there to see a dead person on the ground. Then when the movie ends, what was the point of ending the movie with the little girl telling her baby sister the story of that lady? Like, why end the movie that way? Whatever. I ain't gonna waste no more of my brain cells. I ended up rating The Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake, 1 out of 5 stars. I'm so sorry. And really, that 1 star is just for Mary Elizabeth Winstead's performance. That's really it. And like I said, I like the actor that played the husband. I really can't give his performance nothing because he ain't had nothing to do. And that's nothing to him. He ain't had nothing to do. Michael Monroe, I really didn't care for her performance. I'm be honest. And typically, I feel like she's talented. She gave me nothing here. And I just really hated the direction they went with her character. Just being creepy and odd and off-putting from the get-go. No, ain't nobody trust her to watch. I wouldn't hire you to dog sit, let alone watch my newborn and my kids. But let me know in the comments, do you agree or disagree with my take? Did you love this remake? More power to you. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.